should I be looking, Gary? Straight at the camera. It's all about angles, 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 angles. So my warm-up was here on the seated row, leaning forwards, pulling towards the lower chest, warming up the lats, sitting completely upright, warming up rear delts and mid traps, and then leaning back, pulling up all to the lower chest, all square travel path with my elbows, and that's upper traps, rear delts, upper traps. Really hitting the 3 different angles for my warm-up. Straight onto lats with isolation, working out at home and only having dumbbells. I did a lot of rows, a lot of mid traps, a lot of rhomboids, so straight into lats. I did the pull down, but I leaned back. I leaned back at about a 45-degree angle. I chose the D handle particularly so that my elbows could travel in a straight path. I don't want a closed handle, so as I get closer to my body, my elbows flare out and I turn on too much shoulder. I want to keep that straight travel path through the elbows and pull into the lats, pulling down through my thumbs, down towards the belly button or the abs just above the belly button. And that's straight lats, straight into a cable pullover. And that's where I concentrate more on the stretch, straight arms stretch. My first movement, push the sternum up, pull the shoulders down to pull on, that switches on lats, and then I'll just pull those lats through from there. Same thing, I chose a grip so that I could keep my hands the same width as my shoulders and pull straight through using the elbows. What was after that? I think we went on to sill row. Sill row was a 90-degree pull for mid traps, rear delts, rhomboids, all that sort of area. And then straight into a high row where I put my feet up on the bench. Chose the D handle again, pulling down. So I've gone from a 90-degree angle to, I don't know, just 45 degrees above that. Same muscles, rhomboids, mid traps, rear delts, but just changing the angle I'm pulling on just to try and create a bit more 3D through my back, especially my back poses. I've got good width, I've got good areas, but those mid traps really need to pop more. One arm row for lats. Same thing, I can use that one arm row for any muscle on my back. I can pick and choose, and it all just depends on what angle I sit at, what angle I pull my elbow through at, how far my range of motion goes, whether I'm going to pull right back, whether I'm going to stop short, and the travel path of my shoulder, whether I pull the shoulder straight back or whether I drive my shoulder down into my hip. This one was for lats. Full stretch, letting my shoulder come up towards my ear, driving my shoulder down towards my hips, and trying to wrap my elbow around towards my spine and switching on lats. The moment I felt that lat fully locked, I didn't go any further with a range of motion. That was it for back. Onto arms, again, angles, angles, angles. Because we're still sectioned off with everything here, I did the triceps as a giant set, and I pulled the 3 angles, pulling straight back towards the hips, pulling out in front 90 degrees, and then pulling overhead. And then I just mixed up 2 things where I could move good weight, because that giant set was light. You can't move a lot of weight doing something like that. I moved on to a close grip or a V handle for pull down. What that did for me is it forces me to push my elbows through and get a full contraction at the bottom for the tricep, but you can still move a lot of weight. Only 2 sets and then straight into 2 sets on a straight down V handle. Again, just moving maximum weight. I've hit the angles, all 3 heads are warm and feeling like shit, move weight. And then I tried to mimic the same thing with the biceps. The 3 different angles I used, laying flat in my back here, pulling up, setting up a cable, stomach height, arms at 90 degrees, pulling straight towards you, and a lat pull down, curling overhead. And then I just used a dumbbell hammer curl. And that was my heavy exercise, just to move weight as much as possible. But yeah, it's not, when you're trying to think of your workout, try and relate back to, everyone knows how to do it with chest, decline, flat, incline. Everyone knows to change the angles and the variables. If you can apply that same principle on every other muscle, you're going to create a lot more fuller, rounder, more athletic looking muscle, rather than someone who hits the same angles over and over, has magnificent bits and poor bits, and you start to really come across quite blocky. I hope that helps somebody out today. Thank you.